Hi, I'm Joe Chili, mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise today is Dr. Ahmad from Western New York, house physician. How are you today, doctor?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me, Joe.
Glad to have you here. Where did the idea of house physician, Western New York house physician, come from?
See, we have a lot of elderly people and patients in community. They have difficulty leaving the house and going to see the doctors in the community. So then they just have gap in the care and all that, and then they stop seeing their providers, and then they just don't have healthcare anymore. So I was just thinking about, on those lines, how to help these kind of patients. So then this idea came into my mind, why not to do something and going into their houses and see them in the comfort of their house so that they can have their health care.
It's probably nice because then they're on their home turf, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they feel more comfortable, I would think, in talking to you. What kind of services do you offer these individuals?
See, we do in-house physical therapy, we do in-house occupational therapy, we actually provide home-based primary care, and we do in-house wound care. We work with different home care agencies who can do going into their houses and draw the blood work, do some radiology tests like x-rays, ultrasounds, EKGs, and echocardiograms. And we also can arrange a lot of DMEs for them, like, for example, DMEs, durable medical equipment like hospital bed, Hoyer lift, wheelchair, scooter, etc., etc.
Now, if an individual is going to use your services, let me clarify here. It's not like an emergency care or an urgent care. Are you their primary doctor?
Yes, we are basically just the home-based primary care. It's just the outpatient going to your house. It's not urgent care, you're right, it's not emergency care. If there's an emergency, we send them to go, ask them to go to the emergency room.
And how's billing done? Does insurance cover this?
Yes, we bill through the insurances, and it's covered by, house calls are covered by the insurances.
How do you think that this helps healthcare costs?
See, it actually reduces the healthcare cost, and there's a study published in Journal of American Geriatric Medicine, and that study compared 722 Medicare patients who were being served by the home-based primary care with control patients, like 2,100 patients. And at the end of the study, they concluded that home-based primary care saves more than $4,000 per patient per year, and it reduces 7% hospital visit, 20% ER visit, and 27% nursing home visits.
So, do you have a brick and mortar, like, you know, an actual office that you work out of?
We have an office, but that's only for the administrative purposes, because we go to the patients' houses and assisted living, we see them over there.
You do. Okay, so when you go into someone's home, are there things that you want them to have ready in advance? Do you ask them to have the medications that they're using? Do you ask them to vitamins? Do you ask them any questions in advance of your visit?
Yeah, basically we ask them if they have medication list or medication bottles so that we can know what they're taking, and their insurance card, so we can take a picture of that and then enter into our system. So that's basically we ask them to have.
How do you think your work, Western New York house care, Western New York house physician, how do you think that it's been accepted by the public?
It's very well accepted, you know. It's a very needed service which we provide, because of the fact, as I was explaining to you earlier, that these patients cannot leave their house. So they are happy that we go and see them in their houses. They are happy, their family members are happy, so it's very well accepted.
Now, when you start talking about, we've discussed elderly patients. Do you just administer to elderly, or do you have different age patients?
In the community, we see 65 and older.
Okay.
And if we go to assisted living facilities, then we do 55 and older, because they also take 55 and older patients in assisted living facilities.
Is it just asking about their basic health, or if they have heart problems or something like that, do you have to send them somewhere else?
Yeah, it depends, you know. I mean, if we think they need to see a cardiologist or pulmonologist, a subspecialty, we can always refer them, If they're willing to go and if somebody can take them to the specialist, they would go. If they say no, they can't go, they don't want to go, they are not able to leave the house, then we just manage them as much as possible.
This is kind of, it reminds me of a throwback to kind of the old days. When I was young, you know, doctors used to make house calls, and then it just became outdated. Do you think this is something that's going to find its way into medicine again?
Yeah, I strongly believe this is the future of medicine. This is what I think, that maybe in 15, 20 years, there will be a more and more home-based primary care. You will be seeing those because people will become more elderly and then they will need that service.
I think this is a great service that you've provided, and I think it's very intuitive for you to do something like this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Dr. Ahmad by calling 716-474-5983 or go to WNYHousePhysician.com. Sponsorship and promotional considerations for the preceding segment was provided by Western New York House Physician. And don't forget to join me weekday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on The Big Weck.